The Honourable Member for Chicoutimi-Lafiole. Madam Speaker, for months the government did its utmost in order not to provide documents necessary to Mark Norman's defence, and this pleading cabinet confidence. Vice-Admiral Norman didn't even have a right to his own email. What is the government trying to hide? The Honourable Minister of Justice. Madam Speaker, as I just said in English, we're talking about 8,000 documents and 7 government organizations. We cooperated with the court. We produced the documents. It took time, but there were 8,000 documents, and the decisions to redact were not taken politically. So we did cooperate. The system worked as it should, and we are proud of our justice system. The Honourable Member for Chicoutimi-Lafiole. Madam Speaker, the government politicized military procurement by prioritizing their partisan interests. The Astérix was a resounding success, and it was delivered on time and on budget by Davy Shipyards. It's a success that Canadians and the Vice-Admiral should be proud of. When will the Prime Minister apologize? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary. Thank you, Madam Speaker. The accusations against Vice-Admiral Norman were stayed. Every decision was taken in a completely independent way. No outside influence was exerted. And there was no political influence in the decision to prosecute the Vice-Admiral or to stay the proceedings. Any contrary assertion is absurd.
Speaker, first the Prime Minister said Vice-Admiral Norman would be charged before the investigation was even complete. Then the Prime Minister's office did not provide the requested documents for 2 years, nearly bankrupting Mark Norman and putting his family through hell. Then, just as the Liberal MP for Orleans was going to testify against the government, suddenly the charges are dropped. Clearly, this was another attack by the Prime Minister on someone who is standing up for what is right. Will the Prime Minister apologize to Admiral Mark Norman and reinstate him Vice Chief of the Defence Staff?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Families, Children's and Social Development.
I'm really glad that the Conservative Party is now seized of the idea of having independent civil service provide advice to government. It's important, and I'm also glad that they're talking about people's jobs, because that's important too. We've got some other independent advice today from Stats Canada, an organization which the previous government had a lot of trouble dealing with the independence of. That's 106,000 jobs were created in the last month in this country. Let me put that into context. They might understand. In Stephen Harper's last year, they celebrated 72,000 jobs in 1 year. 106,000 jobs in 1 month. That's independent advice they should listen to and take note of.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's evident that the jobs they're talking about had nothing to do with Vice-Admiral Norman, because they cared nothing about his job. And there appears to be overwhelming evidence that the Prime Minister and his Liberal government went to incredible lengths to try and keep truth hidden, deliberately suppressing information that would eventually exonerate Vice-Admiral Norman. This political interference is a damning indictment of this current government, and Canadians deserve answers. Will the Prime Minister apologize to Vice-Admiral Norman and reinstate him as the Vice Chief of Staff?
The Honourable Minister of Justice and Attorney General.
Madam Speaker, the premise of that question is entirely false. As the Director for Public Prosecutions has said on at least 2 occasions, Madam Speaker, as the prosecutor in question has said, there was no political interference in this case. There was no political interference in the decision to lay charges. There was no political interference in the decision to stay charges. And there was no political interference over the course of the trial. Madam Speaker, this government produced documents as it was supposed to in accordance with the court orders. We did so in good faith, Madam Speaker. There are systems of governance in Canada. Our judicial systems function well.
The honourable member for Saskatoon West.